Okay, welcome back to the Caribou Media Outdoors podcast. This is going to be another solo cast, and we're going to be talking about broadheads again. I did a couple of mechanical broadhead videos, one recently a couple months ago, which was my second mechanical broadhead test video. It's doing quite well. Now we're going to do a follow-up to that one with a fixed blade video. So we're going to change the testing parameters a little bit. I'm still going to show them up close to you. I'm still going to explain them to you, go through their features, what they're made of, all that kind of stuff, give you my impressions of their sharpness out of the box, and then we're going to spin them on an arrow spinner. We're going to weigh them out of the package, and we're going to shoot them with a field point to see how well they fly with field points. Then we're going to add something that we haven't added before, and that's I have a decibel meter. We're going to shoot past the decibel meter. I haven't quite decided yet whether it's going to be a 40-yard shot and the decibel meter is at 20, so you'll get the arrow sound going by before it hits the target, or maybe farther. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, but we're going to do the decibel meter, and then I've got a bison scapula that I'm going to shoot them all through just for fun at the end. So it should be a pretty good video. So there's going to be 10 fixed blade broadheads altogether. For this podcast, we're going to talk about the first 5, and then next week will be the last 5 to make up their 10. So the first one on the list is the first one that showed up, and that is Day 6 specialized gear. So Day 6 was created a few years ago, recently purchased by Remy Warren. For those of you who don't know, he ended up, the company was for sale, and he ended up purchasing it. So I'll show you in the box what we have. And this is probably going to remind you a lot like an Iron Will design. It's kind of a classic leaf shape. For those of you who are listening and not watching on YouTube, I'm going to do my best to explain exactly what I have in front of me to try and make this beneficial for you. If you have the opportunity, it will be beneficial to head over to YouTube and watch the video. So this is what we're looking at here with the Day 6 Evo. The Evo comes with bleeders, and you can choose different size bleeders. So I'll just pull up the website here. So the Day 6 Evo is $142 Canadian for a 3-pack. It comes in 100, 125, and 150 grains. The bleeder size can be either 1/2 inch or 3/4 of an inch. The specs are 11/16 main blade width, 13/16 main blade length, heat treated S35V. That's the steel, I guess. 3/4 inch bleeder adds approximately 5 grains to the total weight. And if you buy a 6-pack, it comes in a custom SKB hard case, which is pretty cool. They come in the Evo size. They come in the Evo X, which is kind of like a wide version. And then they also come in an Evo XL, which looks like it's a lot taller. And that comes in like 200 and 250 grain. So that is the Day 6 Evo. It is a double bevel broadhead. So it's sharpened on all 4 sides. And then you've got the double bevel on the bleeders as well. So that's going to make a gnarly hole. And with bleeders that size, you're really going to get that kind of box cut. That's going to be a hole that isn't going to close. So that's a pretty awesome option if anybody's looking for the, standard solid fixed blade design, triangular design, double bevel, and then with the bleeders there. So very, very cool. Can't wait to see how this one performs. Next up is going to be a broadhead that I have purchased in the past, but have not had the opportunity to try yet. So I'll give you a little bit of background. This is the Lone Wolf arrowheads. The package says 100 grain, but I bought the 125. So all of these, I think most of these are going to be 125s, unless I couldn't get them in 125. So I reached out to Lone Wolf last year when I was doing my other fixed blade broadhead test. They gave me a code to use to place an order on their website. They've been sold out for a long time. These things are super popular. When I went on the website, I clicked 3-pack. I clicked 125. I threw the code in. I hit purchase. And I don't know if I did it too quickly or I wasn't paying attention, but when it was sold out, it defaulted to single, not 3-pack, and 100 grain. So I got one. So I was thankful that they sent me one. It's great. It came in a little plastic cylinder case, kind of like something for those of you that remember film. If you bought film for an actual film camera before we had digital cameras, the film came in these plastic cylinders with a cap on it. So they sent me one just like that. And it arrived too late for when I was able to do the test. So I had to go ahead with the ones that I had. Anyway, it got here. It was sitting on my desk for a while. And I've been meaning to shoot it and use it. It looks amazing. Design looks incredible that you're about to see when I put this up to the camera. But recently, a couple episodes ago, you can hear the whole story. But a friend of mine, Dave from Hellcat Outdoors, he was desperately wanting to give them a try. And he had been trying to get an order through and was having trouble at the border. And he had a moose hunt coming up. He already had a Lone Wolf tree stand. He was trying to get the broadhead too to seal the deal, and he couldn't get his order in time. So when he was explaining this to me, I thought, well, I have one. It's sitting like right here. I can right in front of me. I'm not using it until I film this test, which wasn't going to be till after moose season for him. So I ended up saying, I'm going to get this to you. When do you leave? So he told me, and I said, okay, that should be enough time. I go online, and of course, I buy a shipping label to send it through Canada Post, and Canada Post decided to go on strike. So that wasn't going to work. So the following day, I thought, well, I have to get this to him because it's kind of a cool story. You know, he's got the other Lone Wolf stuff. He wants to shoot it. He desperately wanted to try these Lone Wolf arrowheads. It'd be great if he had an opportunity to shoot one at a moose. And so I ended up using UPS and got it to him in about, I think it was a day and a half, 2 days. It arrived just as he was loading the car to go, which was wicked. So it turns out, I won't spoil the whole story, but he was successful and he used this broadhead, and he was the first person in Canada to shoot a moose. I don't know, maybe even shoot an animal, but I'm going to definitely say shoot a moose with the Lone Wolf arrowheads, which is pretty wicked. So check out that episode for the full story. So this is going to be a 3-pack. Boom. It's 125 grain, and it's 1 1/8 cut. There's what they look like. So this is your classic. So I know like I said before with the Evo, it's kind of like your leaf shape. This is going to be similar to that, except this is a 3-blade. It's not a 2-blade. I know the Evo is a 2-blade with bleeders. Some will say it's technically 4, but it's a 2-blade. This one is your classic 3-blade design, and there's a couple of things about it that stick out that I really like. One is it comes with, if you can see that here, an O-ring on here, so that when you put it in your arrow, you don't have to worry about it getting loose and unscrewing on you. It's got a little bit of added protection there to keep it on your arrow and not unscrewing inside the animal or anything gnarly like that. Now, if you can see the design, they've got a bunch of curves and angles to it as they cut through from the front to the back, which are really, really cool. I'm sure that helps with aerodynamics as well as making an awesome wound channel, which I can't wait to see because I will be shooting these through ballistics gel, which I didn't mention either. I didn't mention before, they will be going through ballistics gel. So you can see this like dip in here from the top point of the blade to the back. It kind of creates like almost like a funnel on all three sides. So that's wicked. Again, they come in singles, they come in 3-packs, they come in 125, 100, 125 singles and 3-packs. They're $86 for a 3-pack. They are $29 a piece. Sorry, they come in 100, 125, and 150 grain. They've got 150 grain coming. Cutting diameter is 1 1/8. The material is aluminum, solid single piece design. The coating is aluminum oxide, and they're manufactured in the US. Sorry, going back to the Evo, I didn't read that correctly. It's 1 1/16 main blade and 1 3/16. 1 3/16 is the length, and 1 1/16 is the width. And then the either 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch bleeders. So that's, sorry for going back to the day 6 for a second there. So yeah, 150 grain is coming. They are ridiculously sharp right out of the package, which is a good thing. It's not ridiculous, it's good, but they are incredibly sharp right out of the package, which is awesome to see. And then they've got this little, they've got the 125 embossed on the broadhead, plus it says LW for Lone Wolf. So that is the Lone Wolf Custom Gear 3-blade. And that added tightness with the O-ring is a pretty cool thing to do. I wish all broadheads did that, because you all know we're constantly tightening and loosening and tightening and loosening and tightening these things. It's nice when they can go on and stay on and be fairly stuck there for when you need them. You always hear horror stories of blades coming off and getting stuck inside an animal. So next up is going to be a tried and true classic, the Muzzy Trocar. This is a 3-blade. This is 100 grain, and it's the titanium version. It comes with a collar, threaded retention collar. The blades are 0.039 inches thick. There's a titanium trocar tip ferrule. It's 1 1/4 cutting diameter. They have a right offset and a left offset. Sorry, they're interchangeable for right offset or left offset. That's interesting. They come right offset from the factory. So that's cool. You can switch that up. There we go. There's your Muzzy Trocar titanium. So yeah, it's got a collar on the end of it. You can see there, it's a black plastic collar. Looks like. Oh, it might be metal. Plastic collar. Sorry, it's a black collar that goes on the end. Blades are fairly thin. They have a bit of an edge to them, but not to the degree as the last two that I had. Not to the same degree blade sharpness. There is a bit of an edge to it, but you can see I'm running my finger over it. Not super dull, but definitely not super sharp. That tip is very sharp on the end. Muzzy Trocar, owned by Faradyne Outdoors, who owns a slew of other outdoor and hunting companies, same as Rage, etc. So the Muzzy Trocar is a 3-blade broadhead. It's available in 100 grains. It's got the Trocar tip, solid stainless steel ferrule, 0.035 inch thickness, right helical SS blades. And as it says on the package, you can switch it to the left helical if you want. 1 3/16 cutting diameter, comes in a 3-pack, and replacement blades are available. So this is a classic one you always hear about. This is the first one that is vented. So we'll have to see sound-wise. I'm anticipating this will whistle a little bit through the air. So we'll have to see how that goes. Blades do look slightly curved a little bit. So again, 3 blades, gonna make a nice hole. Just at first glance, the blades do look thin. My concern would be them collapsing, but again, I've never used this, so I can't say that would happen, but I guess we'll see when we go through the testing phase. So that is the Muzzy Trocar. All right, next one is one I'm pretty excited about. Comes in this wee box. Evolution Outdoors. So Evolution Outdoors has a number of broadheads. I've shot a couple of them already, the Hyde and the Whitetail Fury, which were both mechanicals. This is going to be their fixed blade, which is called the Jekyll. This particular one that I have is called the Jekyll Wide. Why? Because it's wider than the Jekyll. So we'll go through both and I'll tell you why I picked the wide. So if we go to the Jekyll, there's a few Jekylls. So there's a Jekyll Wide, there's a Jekyll Wide Solid, which is a solid fixed blade, and then there's the Jekyll Dangerous Game. So going into the regular Jekyll, these are $63.43 for 3. They come in 100 grain, 70-75 aircraft grade aluminum, although I do believe there was a post about the aircraft grade aluminum ones not being offered anymore across the board. But again, don't quote me on it. That may have changed. But according to the website, as of the filming of this podcast, which is Monday, November 3rd, it still has it on their website. So maybe they're working through whatever they still have in stock. But you can get 100 grains, 70-75 aircraft grade aluminum. It's like a green aluminum. 125 grain, 4/16 hardened stainless steel, which is the one that I went with. 150 grain, 4/16 hardened stainless steel. And then there's a crossbow one that's 100 grains, 70-75 grade 70-75 aircraft grade aluminum. Comes in a 3-pack, 4-pack, 5-pack, and 6-pack. Groups consistently with your field points. 3/4 inch front blade, 1 inch cutting diameter main blade. Again, 420 stainless steel blades. Front and main blade thickness is 0.060 inches. U.S. machined and assembled with the tightest tolerances, super quality and design. And then they've got a multifunctional ferrule, which is a U.S. patent. Comes in those 4 weights that we already talked about. And includes a reusable broadhead case, which is awesome. I wish all companies had a reusable broadhead case because it is nice to be able to carry things around locked up in here. That is quite handy. So that's the original Jekyll. Going to the one that I picked, which is the Jekyll Wide. Again, 63.45 for 3. All the same. Actually, no, this is different. So the weight options are going to change here. So for the Jekyll, you're going to have 110 grains, 70-75 aircraft grade aluminum. The second option is 135 grains, 4/16 hardened stainless steel. So not 100 or 125. It's going to be 110 and 135. And then instead of 150, they're giving you 160 grains, 4/16 hardened stainless steel. And then they're offering the crossbow 110 grain, 70-75 aircraft grade aluminum. So there is an added weight to the wide version. Naturally, you're making a wider platform. You're adding more material, therefore you're going to have more weight. Comes in a 3-pack, 4-pack, 5-pack, and 6-pack. And if they tried to keep it to the standard 100, 125, 150 with that widened space, you have to think they're going to be extending the material. So it's going to be probably a thinner diameter than what it would be if they kept it the same, but just added more, which is what they're doing here. So you're getting a stronger broadhead, but just something to keep in mind. If you're super anal about your weights for your arrows, you will be adding 10 grains to your setup if you're going to use these. And again, shooting close range, you're not going to really notice that. In my opinion, 20 to 40 yards, you're not going to notice 10 grains. If you're hunting, shooting target, maybe in a competition, sure, but not when it comes to hunting. So again, 3-pack, 4-pack, 5-pack, 6-pack, and this is what they look like. So again, they come in this nice box with a lanyard, the plastic case. That's what we're looking at here. So for those of you who can't see, the best way that I can describe it is it's got a fixed blade head on the front. And then coming down just past the middle of the fixed blade front, you're getting another fixed blade that pops out that looks like, depending on how you look at it, if you're looking at it straight up and down, it looks like a crossbow. If you turn it to the side, it looks like a compound at full draw. So you've got some venting here in the sides. Again, I don't know if this is going to whistle or not. There is some venting on the top main blade as well. Not super duper sharp. They do have an edge to them, but not crazy sharp. You might want to touch those up. But they are a unique design. They look really cool. I can't wait to try them out. They do. They are definitely wide, and that's definitely going to make quite the hole. That won't close because of the 4 blades to it. Awesome. So again, check those out. There is a couple of screw points at the bottom where you can tighten and loosen to remove the blades and put in replacement blades if you'd like. Also, people have been telling me that there's a plastic tube piece that goes in here that you have to replace every single time you shoot it. I'm going to say I haven't seen anything on their website mentioning that anywhere. If that is something that you would need to replace, no one's going to buy these if you have to replace them every single time you shoot them. Granted, if you're shooting them at an animal, yes, I would replace them. Because I know that the mechanicals, when they open, I believe they rest come to their final resting point on that piece, so I can understand getting that replaced. I don't know how that comes into play with this, if these are fixed, but it might be something to look at. But you definitely, I would disagree that you would have to replace these every single time you shoot them, because if you're practicing with them, no one's going to buy them if you have to buy another piece to replace every single time you shoot it. That doesn't really make sense to me, but if people want to talk about it in the comments, let's have a conversation. But I don't see that being something that anybody's going to do, or be a very good move on the company's part. And if it was, it should be all over the website, and it's not, from what I can see. So those are the Evolution Outdoor Wide. Can't wait to shoot those, test them. Can't wait to see their wound channel. It's going to be gnarly how wide they are. Just want to take a quick break to talk to you about a couple of things that I've been using that I think might benefit you. One is this Numa Outdoors gear. This is in their Kaza OV pattern, which is great whitetail pattern when you're up in a tree in the fall and late season. They also have a Kaza pattern which has more green in it, which is good for spring through to the fall. Numa has given me a code to give to you of Caribou Media 20, which will save you 20% at checkout. Another product here that I've been using for years now is the Bulldog targets. This is a Canadian made target. They're made in Manitoba. They have a lifetime warranty. I've used that warranty twice now on a couple of my larger targets that are outside. It's very simple, very easy. These targets are 2-finger removal every single time, which is incredible. Field point only target. Bulldog's been gracious enough to give me a 20% discount code to give to you at checkout. Use code BD20-Caribou-Media. That'll save you 20% on these awesome targets. Now back to the show. And again, this is just a brief sneak peek here. I'm not going into any crazy detail, as you can already tell. I'm just trying to give you a bit of a heads up of what we're going to be looking at. So the last one for this episode, we'll do the other 5 on the next one, is the new Katana from Annihilator Broadheads. This design looks really cool. It's definitely something that piqued my interest. It has cross-cut technology. It kind of creates like a core with the height of the bleeder blades and the scooping nature of them that I'll show you in a minute. Basically, just like their previous broadheads, the Annihilators kind of are known for creating like a sucking chest wound. So based off of the way that they design the shape of their broadheads, that's the result that you're going to get. Drastically disrupts the cavity pressure. Creates a 2-inch oblong cross-cut hole. They're saying it's the most penetrating Annihilator broadhead they've made. So, box is pretty cool. It's got a button on the side you press, and when you push that, the rest of the box will open. And there they are. My only wish right out of the box is that they were larger. They do look kind of on the small side. Just my opinion. They are single bevel all the way around. So the 2 main blades are single bevel, and then the 4 bleeder blades are also single bevel. This also comes sharp right out of the box, which is nice. And again, it's got that scooping. So there's the 2 bleeders are spaced out to the point where they create like almost like a shovel in there. So you're getting the bone crushing continual spin of the single bevel, as you've seen in other videos. Maybe you haven't, but if you check out single bevel penetration videos on YouTube, you can see, I know Iron Will's done one where you can see the arrow spinning in slow motion, and as it impacts the animal, it continues to corkscrew and spin as it's going through. So that's definitely a benefit of having the single bevel, and with all those blades on there, it's going to make a pretty interesting hole and wound channel. But again, I wish it was bigger. Like, if you, not to attack its size too much, but if you look at the Lone Wolf compared to the Katana, like double the size. And again, this is just my observation right out of the box. Feel free to agree or disagree with me all you like. Same with the Day 6 Evo Standard Evo. These aren't even the big ones, and they're significantly larger as well than the Katanas are. So it would be cool if they were significantly bigger, but I don't know what goes into the manufacturing and the cost and all that stuff. Or maybe this is their design and they like them smaller, and that's just the way it is. And it's maybe that's an added benefit for the penetration side of things. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see when we put it through the ringer. But yeah, that is the Annihilator Katana. So the next 5, maybe I'll give you a preview. I didn't do it last time, but I'll give you a little preview as to what we're looking at for the next week. We're going to be looking at the G5 Montech M3, which was in the first video that I did. Another awesome standard 3-blade solid design. This is going to be going neck and neck with the Lone Wolf in terms of their design, their size, and we'll have to see how they perform together. Sorry, I didn't get into the did I say the price of the katanas? I don't think I did. So the Annihilator Katana 125 is key features: 125 grain weight for added momentum and penetration. Top rated katana series. Third-party test video dropping soon. They don't have it yet. It's got 12 single bevel edges on it, 6 forward, 6 rear facing. Crosscut technology for maximum cutting surface. Raised scoop cavitation design. So that's what I was talking about. It looks almost like a shovel. It just kind of, it's just going to pull all kinds of stuff out with it, making devastation. Flies with field point accuracy for most bow types. So we'll have to see what that's all about. A lot of these companies swear field point accuracy with fixed blades, and a lot of them are not the case. So we'll have to give that a go and see. It says silent flight profile designed to reduce wind noise. So that'll be good with the sound test we're going to be doing. Nearly indestructible and reusable with proper resharpening. So again, 125 grains, 1 inch cutting diameter, creates over a 2-inch wound path. So when you add up all of the edges to it, all the cutting surfaces, you're going to get a 2-inch wound path. Material is a 1-piece hardened proprietary steel. So they won't tell you what kind of steel it is. And it's comes to a Rockwell hardness of 52. So a higher Rockwell value indicates a harder blade, which typically is better at edge retention, but may present challenges with sharpening. And the lower the Rockwell hardness offers an easier blade to maintain, but you'll need more frequent sharpening, and then you run in the risk of possibly breaking or having a weaker point in terms of how it's going to overall perform. So you want to find that level. I think 60 is considered on the higher end. So this being in the 50s is going to be a nice hardened steel. The edge thickness is 0.060 inches from the tip, tapered to 0.038 inches. The shank length is 0.59 inches. And they claim match grade tolerance. All heads are within 0.2 grains per 3-pack. All right, so that's something we're definitely going to be checking when I weigh them all. So they have to be within 0.2 grains of each other in the package. All right, so that is the Annihilator Katana. So again, something to look forward to for next week. You're looking at the G5 Montec M3, which is definitely a favorite. We're looking at the VPA, Vantage Point Archery Omega, which is going to be a nice comparison to the Annihilator Katana. Similar shape and size. We're also going to have the QAD Exodus because it's so damn popular and people were requesting that one. There's your QAD Exodus. Another one that was in high demand that I had in the first Fixed Blade video, and I've got a couple left, is the Black Hornet. So this is the Magnus Black Hornet. This thing is gnarly. If you look at those blades, again, it's a 2-blade with some wild bleeders on it. It's a 2-blade vented broadhead with solid bleeders on it. So that performs really well too. Last but not least, that's 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth one is going to be another popular one, which is the Grim Reaper Micro Hades Pro. Again, another vented broadhead. So we'll have to check on the whistling. So we've got, how many vented ones do we got? We've got the Micro Hades Pro is vented, the Black Hornet is vented, the Muzzy Trocar is vented, and the Evolution Outdoors Hide Wide is vented. So that'll be interesting to see how they go between each other and how they work out. So that's it. That's all for this week. Stay tuned for next week. We'll get to the other 5. We got some more guests coming up that we're going to roll into, but for the next 2 weeks, it's going to be just me talking broadheads. So stay tuned for that. And I hope everybody's hunting season is going well. It's definitely flying by. I can't believe it's November already. In typical fashion, we plan, and then it arrives faster than we think, and it's almost over before we know it. So use your time wisely, benefit from these November days and how the temperature is now changing. Let's all get out there and get up in the stand as much as you can, or the saddle, or however you choose to hunt. Good luck out there. Share your stories with me for sure. I'd love to hear about them. Please rate and review these if you can. It really helps to promote the podcast and get it out to more people. I really appreciate that. And if you haven't seen this and you've only listened to it, I appreciate the listen, but please head over to YouTube, the Caribou Media Outdoors YouTube page, and check out the visuals of these broadheads. You're not going to want to miss them. Some of them are pretty wild. So with that being said, at some point in November, I will get to filming all of these and get that video out for your viewing pleasure. But until then, good luck with whatever you're using, and we'll see you on the next one.